Hey, congratulations! You just landed a job in tech, and I hope that you're really proud of yourself. Because I know from my own personal experience, it is not easy to land a job in tech with all of the different rounds of interviews that you have to go through, patiently waiting for the response from the recruiter, and then of course, slowly shifting your whole life to the new job. If you're watching this video today, you have either not yet started your tech job and you are wondering how you can really get prepared and set yourself up for success when you are starting your new role, or you have already started with your new job and you might feel a little bit overwhelmed and you are wondering how you can manage all of the new information that you have received over the first couple of weeks. And those are all the things that I want to talk with you about in today's video. I want to share a few tips with you that I wish somebody would have told me when I started to work for Google in 2011. Hi, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Julia Arndt and I'm a peak performance coach and stress management trainer. And I'm really excited to record this video for you today because I wish I would have had a video like that when I started my tech job in 2011 working for Google. I, by the way, worked for Google for almost 8 years before I started my own company. And I am really passionate about the subject of sustaining peak performance. This is why I'm doing this, and you will hear a couple of different tips today that I wish somebody would have told me when I started my job in tech. It can be really overwhelming when you are starting a job in tech because you will receive a ton of information. You will meet a lot of different people. You will have really an information overload and you feel like you're going to learn for the first 6 to 12 months in your role before you're starting to feel a little bit more comfortable. So at the beginning, you might be totally out of your comfort zone. And you know what? That is totally okay. Expect that, because when we are having the right expectations, we are not going to feel so overwhelmed when it's actually going to happen. Even though I know that you are a peak performer and you know how to handle stressful situations, when you are starting at a new company, when you're starting in tech specifically, there's a lot that you will have to learn. And because of exactly that, the first tip that I want to share with you today is to be really patient about learning before you're starting to act. So when you are starting in tech, we are all, of course, peak performers and we always want to just do things right away. But I would highly encourage you to sit back a little bit, patiently learn and listen and meet people and learn all of the processes that you have to learn in order to really set yourself up for success. Because the biggest mistake that you can make is to just kind of jump in, not have all of the different information, and then do things that might not be really correct. And then, of course, it will fall back onto you because you haven't collected enough information before starting to act on a couple of different things. The next tip that I want to share with you is that you shouldn't say yes to everything. This is a trap, and this is something that a lot of people do, especially when they start a new role, because they think that they obviously just got hired, they want to prove themselves, and you probably think, hey, I really want to show them that it was worth it that they hired me, which is wonderful. But I think in the long term, you're making a much better impression when you are being really selective about what you're saying yes to and what you're saying no to, because that learns your peers from the beginning that you have really clear boundaries and that you know what you can take on. And this is a really important learning, because if you learn a lot of unhealthy habits over the course of the first years when you're working for a new tech company, that can easily lead to a burnout. A lot of people, I think almost 50% of tech employees, constantly feel burnt out because they haven't maybe heard this video that I'm recording for you right now and they haven't paid attention to these things. So they are overloading themselves with work, they are not taking care of themselves, and they just burn out as a result of that. So you are smarter and you are better, and so you know now, because you've watched my video, that you shouldn't say yes to everything. And the third tip, that you should also take care of yourself. Don't do the mistake of just working super long hours in the evening, working during the weekends because you think now you are young and now you can just invest all of that time. You really enjoy working. You don't feel overwhelmed. You really feel accomplished at the end of the day because you just get so many things done. That's really wonderful. But let me tell you this. If you are not creating healthy habits at the beginning of your journey, you're going to create a lot of unhealthy habits. And those habits will be really, really difficult to break because over the long run, this is too much for your system. So you're going to be a lot smarter by applying these tools right away from the beginning. And you might be thinking, I don't really need this, and I am super good and I feel super well. But let me tell you, I have worked with many, many people that have had the exact same mindset and then burned out as a result of them just working and working and working and not taking care of themselves, and understanding that if you want to perform at your job on a regular basis, you also need to fill your energy tanks on a regular basis. So that is my third tip. The last tip that I want to share with you today in today's video, which is super, super important when you are landing a job in tech and you're starting your new role, is to not compare yourself to others. A trap that a lot of people are falling into, especially because you are a peak performer. I know it, you have to probably be a peak performer in order to land a job in tech in the first place. And all of a sudden, when you are getting to this company, you are one of many. Before, you were the top performer in anything that you did. And all of a sudden, you are starting at a company where everybody is incredibly amazing. I remember my time at Google when I started in 2011. I did feel like a peak performer. I spoke 3 different languages. I had lived in 3 or 4 different countries already at the time. And I had a really good college degree, a master's degree in international management, brand management, and marketing. And I felt like I was a top performer. And then I started at Google and I met all these other incredible people. And I met people that spoke 5 different languages and that had amazing internships at amazing companies, consulting companies, tech companies, all these different kinds of things. And that felt really, really intimidating. And what we then do is oftentimes compare ourselves to these people. And because these other people are probably going to stay late, they probably have already established and created unhealthy habits because maybe that's what they had to do in order to get where they are today. It doesn't matter. Don't compare yourself to other people. You can only take care of yourself, and you need to create these healthy boundaries. That is really, really, really important for you. It's important for your mental health. It's important for your physical health. It's important that you can sustain your performance over a long period of time, and you will not be able to do that when you compare yourself to other people and when you're trying to race with other people, which means that you're putting as much work in as they put in. But you know what? Maybe those people are not as efficient as you are because you, as a peak performer, understand that there are times where you have to work and there are times when you need to take time off in order to recharge your batteries. If you don't do that, then you are not going to be as efficient and as productive and as focused and concentrated as you want to be. So you could put the same amount of time and work in a 7-hour day, and you could probably put it into a 12 or 13 or 14-hour day, depending on how focused you are at work, based on the number of breaks that you take and based on how much time you're spending on yourself. And this all sounds maybe interesting for you because you've never really thought about it that way. But let me tell you, from working with a lot of different people over the years and training over 3,000 people in the last 1.5 years alone, I know that these mistakes happen over and over and over again. And now I'm teaching people how to do it better. So don't make the mistake just like all the others and learn from the start. You have to invest in yourself right at the beginning of your journey in the company. And if you do that, you're going to be incredibly successful and you're going to be super, super performant. And if you want to learn more about the peak performance method, which is the model that I created for you in order to sustain your performance and be super successful in your role and at the same time thrive in your personal life as well, then make sure that you check out other videos on my YouTube channel, because all of these different videos that I'm recording for you are parts of the peak performance method that I believe are really important for you to learn in order to grow and develop yourself. So I hope you found this video helpful today. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. If you have any questions for me based on my experience or my background, I'm super happy to answer any of these questions. So leave me a comment down below, and I really hope to see you in one of my other videos.